Hello, ladies and gentlemen. All right, listen up. We're going to have a real talk, and I need you to be ready to hear it straight. Life isn't something to mess around with, and too often we make choices that drag us down. You know what I'm talking about. We all have those moments, those habits, those excuses that make us look back and wonder, what was I thinking? It's time to stop being stupid. You've got one shot at this life, one chance to make something meaningful, something that matters not just to you, but to the world around you. Yet too many people are out here sleepwalking, going through life on autopilot, letting their bad habits and poor choices keep them chained up. You're stronger than that. And if you're not acting like it, it's time to wake up. Wake up and take ownership. This is where change begins. In education and in life, one of the biggest obstacles to success is the tendency to drift along without intentionality or direction. Too often, people live on autopilot, going through the motions, following habits and routines without asking themselves if these habits are moving them closer to their goals. Ownership is about seizing control of your path, about making conscious choices that reflect what you want to achieve, rather than letting external factors shape your actions and outcomes. To take ownership, the first step is awareness. Imagine you're a student who aims to excel academically, or someone in the workplace wanting to rise to new challenges. To do this effectively, you have to become fully aware of your current habits, strengths, and weaknesses. It's like taking inventory of where you are now so that you can plot a clear path forward. Ownership starts with brutal honesty, a willingness to examine the way you spend your time and energy. Are you investing your hours in productive tasks, or are you wasting them on distractions that don't serve your purpose? This self-evaluation can be uncomfortable, but it's absolutely necessary for growth. Without a clear understanding of where you are, it's nearly impossible to get to where you want to be. Next comes the shift from passive to active living. Taking ownership means transforming from a reactive person to a proactive one. Think about how easy it is to let circumstances dictate your day, to respond to emails as they come, to handle assignments or tasks only as deadlines loom closer. While reactive living might get you by in the short term, it keeps you dependent on external forces and leaves little room for growth. In contrast, proactive individuals design their actions with purpose. They look at their goals and decide on the steps they need to achieve them, planning their days in alignment with those goals. Rather than responding to every distraction or demand that comes their way, they focus on what truly matters and pursue it with intention. This mindset shift is particularly important in learning and self-development. Ownership in these areas requires commitment and resilience. Let's say you're studying a challenging subject, like a foreign language or a complex field of science. If you're passively approaching your studies, only doing the bare minimum to pass tests or complete assignments, you're not truly absorbing knowledge. Ownership means committing to understanding, to mastering the subject, not just because you have to, but because you've chosen to. You take control of your learning by seeking additional resources, practicing beyond what's required, and finding ways to make the subject meaningful to you. This is where growth happens, and it's what separates those who excel from those who only get by. Another vital aspect of taking ownership is resilience in the face of failure. When you're truly committed to a goal, setbacks are inevitable. You might not pass an exam you studied hard for, or you might struggle with a skill you're trying to build. But here's the difference. If you take ownership of your goals, you don't let these failures defeat you. Instead, you analyze what went wrong, recalibrate, and keep pushing forward. You don't blame external circumstances, nor do you rely on luck to turn things around. Ownership is about embracing both success and failure as a part of your journey, learning from each experience, and moving forward with even more determination. Taking ownership also extends to your choices and priorities. In a world filled with distractions and competing demands, it's easy to drift away from what's most important. But those who own their lives don't let distractions derail them. They stay focused on their priorities because they understand that every choice has a consequence. If you spend hours scrolling on social media instead of working toward your goals, you're choosing to delay your progress. Ownership means recognizing that you control these choices, and every decision, no matter how small, either moves you closer to or further from what you're trying to achieve. In the end, taking ownership is about developing a mindset that prioritizes growth, accountability, and purpose. It's a commitment to moving through life as a driver, not a passenger. Whether in academics, career, or personal pursuits, those who take ownership set themselves up for a lifetime of success because they're no longer waiting for life to happen to them. They're making life happen, actively shaping their path with intention and purpose. Getting out of your own way is one of the most powerful concepts for personal growth and success. In an educational context, this idea applies both to students who are striving to succeed academically and to professionals looking to advance their skills. Too often, people unknowingly limit their own potential through negative habits, mindsets, or patterns that act as self-imposed roadblocks. The solution lies in identifying these behaviors, understanding how they impact progress, and taking deliberate steps to replace them with productive actions that align with personal goals. One of the first steps in getting out of your own way is to recognize and confront self-limiting beliefs. These are thoughts that convince us we aren't capable or deserving of success, often rooted in fear of failure, rejection, or past experiences. In an academic setting, for instance, students may convince themselves that they just aren't good at math or that they can't focus in a particular subject. While these beliefs might feel real, they are often based on perception rather than fact. Research in psychology shows that a fixed mindset keeps people stuck, believing their abilities are set in stone. In contrast, a growth mindset allows individuals to view their skills as improvable with effort and practice. By adopting a growth mindset, students and professionals can start to challenge these self-imposed limitations and replace them with a belief in their own ability to improve over time. Another way we get in our own way is through procrastination, which can stem from perfectionism or fear of failure. When facing a challenging assignment or project, some may put off starting because they're worried their work won't be perfect or that they'll fall short of their own expectations. But delaying only compounds stress and reduces the time available to produce quality work. Research shows that starting tasks early, even with small steps, helps people gain momentum and confidence. For students, tackling a project bit by bit, rather than waiting until the last minute, is often a more effective approach that allows for greater clarity, revision, and learning. Overcoming procrastination is about recognizing the cost of delay and replacing it with action, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. In addition to procrastination, lack of focus is another self-imposed barrier. We live in an era of constant digital distractions, social media, notifications, and streaming platforms that can pull attention away from studying or meaningful work. When someone checks their phone every few minutes, they're not only disrupting their focus, but also reducing their capacity for deep, sustained thinking. Studies have shown that multitasking and interruptions severely limit productivity, as the brain requires time to refocus each time it's interrupted. By setting boundaries such as designated study hours, turning off notifications, or using productivity tools that block distracting websites, students and professionals can create an environment that encourages concentration. Getting out of your own way in this regard means establishing habits that support focus and taking ownership of the distractions that are within your control. Fear of taking risks is another common roadblock. In educational and professional settings, growth often involves stepping out of one's comfort zone. Yet, many people hesitate to do so, fearing judgment or criticism. For example, a student might avoid participating in class discussions or skip opportunities to lead a project because they don't want to risk making mistakes in front of others. However, avoiding risks is itself a risk, one that can limit learning experience and personal development. Taking risks, on the other hand, is where true growth happens. Students can benefit from pushing themselves, whether by tackling a difficult subject, volunteering for a presentation, or asking for feedback on their work. Each of these actions, though daunting at first, builds resilience and self-confidence, allowing individuals to move past their own self-imposed limits. In educational contexts, another form of getting in one's own way is the refusal to seek help. Many students or professionals believe they needed to handle everything on their own, seeing it as a sign of weakness to ask for assistance. This belief can lead to unnecessary struggle and frustration. However, one of the most effective ways to grow and overcome challenges is by reaching out to those with more experience or different perspectives. In school, seeking help from teachers, tutors, or classmates can clarify difficult topics and prevent misconceptions. For professionals, asking a mentor or a colleague for advice or guidance can provide insights that speed up learning and improve performance. Getting out of your own way means putting aside pride and embracing the power of collaborative learning. Finally, self-care is essential in this process. Many people overextend themselves, driven by a belief that pushing harder will lead to better results. But neglecting rest, physical health, or mental well-being often leads to burnout, which in turn reduces productivity and makes it harder to stay motivated. In an educational context, this might mean prioritizing quality sleep, regular exercise, and breaks during study sessions. Studies show that a well-rested and balanced individual performs better and learns more effectively than one who is constantly exhausted. Getting out of your own way involves recognizing that self-care isn't an indulgence but a requirement for sustained success. Overall, getting out of your own way is a process of identifying self-sabotaging habits and replacing them with productive, growth-oriented behaviors. It requires both awareness and action, a willingness to look honestly at how your actions impact your progress, and a commitment to aligning those actions with your goals. By making these adjustments, students and professionals can unlock their potential and pave the way to lasting success. Valuing your time and choices is a principle that lies at the core of achieving meaningful goals and living a fulfilling life. Time, unlike other resources, is finite. Once it's spent, you can't get it back, and how you use it directly impacts the trajectory of your education, career, and personal life. Making thoughtful, intentional choices about where you invest your time isn't just about productivity. It's about crafting a life that aligns with your values and aspirations. When students or professionals understand this, they begin to see that every choice they make is a reflection of their priorities. To value your time effectively, it's essential to start by identifying what matters most to you. For students, this might mean distinguishing between long-term academic goals and temporary social engagements. If your goal is to excel in a particular subject, then dedicating time to studying, practicing, or seeking help becomes a priority. Knowing your priorities allows you to make choices that support them, rather than scattering your energy across less meaningful activities. Setting clear academic or professional goals provides a framework for making daily decisions. When you know where you're headed, it's easier to evaluate how each activity fits or doesn't fit into that plan. Valuing your time also means understanding the importance of focus and undivided attention. Multitasking might feel efficient, but research has shown that it actually lowers productivity and the quality of work. When you divide your attention among various tasks, you dilute your effectiveness in each. In an academic context, this means that focusing on one subject or assignment at a time allows you to absorb information more deeply and complete tasks with greater accuracy. For instance, if you're writing an essay while also checking notifications, your mind is constantly switching gears, which slows down progress and increases mistakes. Single tasking, on the other hand, lets you engage deeply with the material, leading to better understanding and retention. Another critical aspect of valuing your time is learning how to say no to activities or commitments that don't align with your goals. This doesn't mean you should avoid all social or extracurricular engagements, but it does mean being selective about where you invest your energy. Students, in particular, often feel pressured to participate in every activity or event, fearing they'll miss out or disappoint others. However, every yes to something non-essential is a no to something more aligned with your goals. Learning to prioritize is a form of self-respect. It's about understanding that your time is valuable and shouldn't be spent on things that don't contribute to your growth or happiness. Time management techniques can be incredibly helpful in maximizing the value of each day. For example, the Pomodoro technique, where you work in focused intervals with short breaks in between, has been shown to improve concentration and reduce burnout. Setting specific, achievable goals for each study or work session helps keep you on track and gives you a sense of accomplishment. A tool like a daily planner or digital calendar can also help you allocate your time efficiently, so you're not left scrambling to meet deadlines or sacrificing sleep to finish projects at the last minute. These techniques teach you to view time as a resource to be invested wisely rather than something to be spent mindlessly. Valuing your time also requires consistency. A strong commitment to your goals and values isn't about a single day or week of disciplined work. It's about forming habits that reflect what you truly value over the long term. Consistency builds resilience and allows you to make steady progress, even when motivation fluctuates. In an educational setting, this might mean dedicating an hour every day to a challenging subject, rather than cramming before exams. In a professional context, it could mean setting aside time each week for skill development or networking. By consistently choosing actions that align with your priorities, you create momentum and set yourself up for lasting success. One area where many people lose time is through excessive digital consumption. Social media, streaming platforms, and online browsing can be major time drains. While they can offer moments of relaxation, overindulging in them often leaves people feeling unfulfilled. Setting boundaries around digital use is an essential part of valuing your time. For instance, you could establish screen-free hours during which you focus on studies or projects without distractions. Many people find that by limiting their time on social media or entertainment sites, they have more time to invest in activities that bring long-term satisfaction, like reading, exercising, or engaging in creative projects. Finally, understanding the opportunity cost of your choices is crucial to valuing your time. Opportunity cost is a concept in economics that refers to the value of what you give up when you choose one option over another. For students, choosing to spend an extra hour studying rather than watching TV might seem like a small decision, but over time, these small choices accumulate and shape your academic or professional future. Reflecting on opportunity costs helps you become more conscious of your choices. When you start to consider what you're giving up by not choosing something that aligns with your goals, you're more likely to make decisions that support your growth. Ultimately, valuing your time and choices is a lifelong practice. It's about recognizing that every moment has potential, and every decision is an opportunity to either build toward your aspirations or veer away from them. When you approach your life with this mindset, you don't just become more productive, you become more purposeful. Making decisions that honor your future self is a powerful practice that can shape your educational, professional, and personal growth. This approach is about thinking beyond the immediate moment, considering how the choices you make today will impact who you'll become tomorrow. In an educational context, this perspective can guide students and professionals to prioritize learning, growth, and responsible decision-making over momentary gratification. Rather than simply reacting to the present, honoring your future self means committing to choices that build a better foundation for long-term success. One of the first aspects of honoring your future self is developing self-discipline. Discipline is not about restriction, but about creating habits and routines that serve your larger goals. For a student, this might mean dedicating time each day to study or complete assignments, even when it's tempting to procrastinate or socialize. The results of consistent effort may not be immediately visible, but with time, they lead to higher grades, deeper understanding, and greater confidence. For professionals, discipline can manifest in continual skill development, networking, or pursuing certifications that align with career ambitions. Self-discipline serves as a reminder to think about the future rather than settling for short-term satisfaction. Another key element in honoring your future self is setting clear goals. Knowing where you want to go provides direction for your daily choices and helps you evaluate whether each action aligns with that path. For example, if a student's long-term goal is to pursue a degree in medicine, they'll need to focus on science and math, keeping those subjects a priority, even when they're challenging or time-consuming. Professionals might set goals related to advancing to a leadership position, which could require learning management skills, building strategic thinking, and investing in continuing education. When you have specific goals in mind, your decisions become more focused, making it easier to avoid distractions and stay on course. Time management is another essential skill for those who want to honor their future selves. Learning to allocate time wisely enables students and professionals to make progress without feeling overwhelmed or stressed. This often means planning your day or week in advance, breaking down larger projects into manageable steps, and setting aside dedicated time for studying, work, and self-care. Effective time management also involves avoiding procrastination by addressing tasks early rather than leaving them until the last minute. By cultivating good time management practices, students and professionals create a rhythm that supports sustained progress, helping them avoid the pitfalls of burnout or rushed work that may not reflect their best efforts. Making decisions with your future self in mind also requires embracing delayed gratification. In a world that constantly promotes instant pleasure, the ability to resist short-term rewards in favor of long-term gains is an invaluable skill. For instance, students who resist the urge to spend hours on social media or binge watch shows during study time are likely to see better academic results. Similarly, professionals who invest in savings, learning, or health rather than splurging on unnecessary expenses lay a stronger foundation for financial and physical well-being. Delayed gratification teaches resilience, as it allows individuals to see beyond immediate rewards and recognize the value of working towards something greater. Personal growth and lifelong learning are also essential for honoring your future self. Learning doesn't end with formal education. In fact, true personal and professional development requires a commitment to learning continuously throughout life. For students, this might mean seeking knowledge outside the syllabus, reading widely, or taking on projects that challenge their understanding. For professionals, lifelong learning could involve keeping up with industry trends, acquiring new skills, or attending workshops that enhance their expertise. Honoring your future self means never settling for what you already know, but instead pushing yourself to expand your knowledge and abilities, preparing you to meet future challenges with confidence. Another factor in honoring your future self is maintaining a healthy lifestyle. Physical and mental health are fundamental to long-term success and well-being, and the choices you make today regarding diet, exercise, sleep, and stress management all play a part in your future self's quality of life. A student who pulls all-nighters to finish assignments may be able to complete their work in the short term, but this habit can lead to burnout, decreased focus, and even health issues over time. On the other hand, a professional who prioritizes regular exercise and balanced nutrition maintains the energy and resilience necessary to tackle challenges with clarity and enthusiasm. Honoring your future self means making choices that support a healthy, balanced life that enables you to achieve your goals with sustainability. Building strong relationships is also crucial for honoring your future self. The people you surround yourself with influence your mindset, motivation, and opportunities. Investing time in relationships with mentors, supportive friends, and like-minded peers fosters an environment that encourages growth and accountability. For students, this could mean joining study groups or clubs that support academic goals. For professionals, networking and maintaining positive relationships with colleagues can lead to new opportunities and insights. When you make choices that build positive relationships, you create a support system that helps you stay committed to your goals and challenges you to keep growing. Finally, resilience and adaptability are critical components of honoring your future self. Life will inevitably present challenges, setbacks, and unexpected changes. Those who are adaptable can handle these shifts with a positive outlook and continue moving forward. Developing resilience means embracing failure as part of the learning process, recognizing that each setback offers valuable lessons and strengthens your resolve. Honoring your future self isn't about avoiding failure, but about bouncing back, learning, and continuing to pursue your goals with renewed determination. Adaptability allows students and professionals to adjust their plans and methods, ensuring they remain aligned with their long-term vision despite obstacles. Ultimately, making choices that honor your future self means approaching each day with a sense of purpose and foresight. It involves asking yourself whether today's actions align with your long-term goals and making adjustments when they don't. This perspective encourages responsibility, maturity, and a growth-oriented mindset that prepares you not only for success, but also for a life of meaningful achievement and satisfaction.